Imagine the initial, world-shattering shock of the apocalypse finally fading, only to realize that the real nightmare is just beginning. The power grid is dead, the supply chains are broken, and the people next door are getting desperate. Welcome to Black Swan 2, the second gripping installment in Bobby Akart's relentlessly tense Black Swan Event series. If the first book was about the terrifying, high-level conspiracy and the sudden, catastrophic arrival of the Black Swan, Book 2 shifts the paradigm entirely. This is no longer just about watching the world end from a distance. It's about the brutal, unforgiving, ground-level reality of surviving the long-term collapse. This audiobook is a masterclass in post-apocalyptic tension, blending hyper-realistic survival tactics, psychological suspense, and the terrifying truth of human nature when the rules of civilization are stripped away. The narrative picks up in the harsh, unforgiving aftermath of the Black Swan natural disaster. The initial shock has faded, replaced by the crushing, suffocating reality of a world without electricity, running water, or law. The core group of survivors has managed to secure a fragile sanctuary, but their success has made them a beacon in a sea of desperation. When a new, highly organized, and utterly ruthless faction of survivors, armed with scavenged hardware and led by a charismatic, ruthless warlord, sets its sights on their homestead, the protagonists realize that their greatest threat isn't the elements or the starvation, it's other people. Akart excels at capturing the claustrophobic dread of being hunted, making every snapping twig and every shadow in the tree line feel like a lethal ticking clock. What truly elevates Black Swan 2 above standard survival fiction is Bobby Akart's signature commitment to tactical and logistical realism. This isn't a story where the heroes have infinite ammo and magical plot armor. Every single bullet counts. Every medical supply is a matter of life and death. The combat sequences are grounded, visceral, and terrifyingly authentic. Akart writes tactical gunfights, ambushes, and perimeter defenses with a breathtaking technical precision. You aren't just reading about a shootout, you are experiencing the deafening roar of unsuppressed firearms, the panic of a jammed rifle, and the desperate, close-quarters brutality of fighting when the magazines run dry. The audiobook narration brings this gritty realism to life, making the crunch of boots on gravel and the sharp intake of breath before a trigger pull feel incredibly real. But beyond the tactical brilliance and the survival mechanics, the soul of the book lies in the psychological toll of the collapse. The found family dynamic of the core group is tested to its absolute limits. They are forced to make impossible, morally gray choices to protect the people who rely on them. The emotional anchor of the story is their fierce, unbreakable loyalty to one another. They aren't just fighting for calories or ammunition anymore. They are fighting for their right to remain human in a world that is actively trying to turn them into monsters. The audiobook format perfectly captures the weary, hardened voices of people who have seen too much, bearing the crushing weight of leadership while trying to keep their own souls intact. As the plot accelerates towards its climax, the pacing becomes utterly breathless. The hostile faction launches a coordinated, devastating siege on the survivor sanctuary, forcing them into a desperate, multi-stage battle for their lives. The finale is a spectacular, hard-fought convergence of tactical ingenuity, raw courage, and sheer, unyielding defiance. It delivers a massive, dopamine-fueled payoff that earns every bit of its triumph, proving that while the grid may be dead, the human spirit refuses to be broken. Black Swan 2 is a triumph of the post-apocalyptic thriller genre. It is smart, gritty, and unapologetically intense. Bobby Akart has crafted a milestone book that proves the Black Swan Event series is a must-listen for any fan of survival fiction. Plug in your headphones, check your perimeter, and join the survivors. The world has ended, but their fight for tomorrow is far from over.